you're moving from place to
Good
place.
morning, Tobago, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. This morning, we're here with the Family Planning Association, and we're going to talk a little bit about sexual education and that kind of thing. It's a very taboo topic, especially here in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean in general. So this morning, I'm joined by two beautiful ladies. Can you all introduce yourselves to the viewers?
I am Roxanne Layne, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator at the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
And I'm Jada Thomas. I'm the Youth Officer at the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, ladies, and can you tell us about your organization, what it is you do exactly, both of you all, in your specific portfolios as well as the organization on a whole?
Okay, well, Family Planning is an organization that was founded in 1956, so we have been around for quite some time, and we focus on sexual and reproductive health. Anything that deals with the reproductive health of men and women and young people. So we do services like cervical cancer screening, prostate cancer screenings, birth control. That's where we have our name, Family Planning. So we have birth control methods. We also do sexually transmitted infections. We do testing for them. And we also do counseling services, gender-based violence, counseling, and of course support services. And the list goes on and on. So it's much more than what people know us for in the past, just doing family health services or family planning services. We do way more than that now.
Okay, Jada, anything you want to add?
I basically do everything that Roxanne just said, just more geared towards youth. I also work closely with her in the outreaches, which is where we go into the communities and we disperse our products to persons who might not be able to come into the clinics.
Okay, so I heard you talking about the outreach programs and going out into the communities. Let's talk a little bit about accessibility. What do you think can be done, or what are you all doing as an organization to improve accessibility to contraception and information in general, because information is important. What are you all doing in that regard?
Well, we're very active on our social medias, so our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You could find us at Family Planning Association Trinidad and Tobago on everything. And then we accept requests from anyone who's interested. As long as you have 25 or more persons, feel free to email us and let us know what services that you're interested in. As Roxanne said earlier, we have pap smears available, SC testing, and prostate screening.
Okay, so you spoke about the content on the page, and I must say I visited the page, and it's quite interactive, and I think that's very important that young persons and persons in general are able to see the information right there in front of their face. So when I was on the page, I saw a couple of your posts, your pictures, and one of them spoke about abortion. It said abortion is healthcare as well. So let's chat a little bit about that, because we know that it's very taboo, it's very, very controversial. We see a lot of crazy stuff happening in the United States. Plus, I think it was in Texas, where they passed the law and they banned it. So let's talk a little bit about that, in terms of the Trinidad and Tobago space, the Caribbean, comparing it to the US. Let's chat a little bit about that.
Well, family planning, we are doing right now research on abortion in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have a global care project, and that project is geared towards knowledge, finding out knowledge, information in terms of what people know about abortion, what are people's attitudes towards it, and giving us the opportunity to remember that sexual rights are human rights. So we know that within Trinidad and Tobago, in certain circumstances, that abortion is illegal. However, we believe that persons do go backdoor, and we all know that they do, and have unsafe, and we have the mortality rate going up. So what we want to do is to encourage the conversation surrounding it, in that people would know that there are options. Abortion is not a method of contraception, but we can start the conversations about abortion and what it is and what it means in Trinidad and Tobago. So we've just concluded research, and I know that as part of that project, we are going to be disseminating the information surrounding it, what we would have found based on the persons that we would have interviewed. And that will form a basis for, of course, advocacy, so that persons would be able to know what and how persons within the country feels about it, and that we can start an active discussion and not put our heads and think that it's not happening, because it is happening within Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, and in terms of having this information available to young persons, the school children, I mean, we may not want to think that it's true, but we all know that it's prevalent, it's happening, it's nothing new, it's been happening for quite some time. How is this information accessible to school children? Because I know when I was in school, when I went to high school, we had HFLE or moral education. It wasn't called sexual health or anything like that, but they basically taught us sex ed day. And they taught us about contraception, the different types of contraception and that kind of thing. But nothing was ever available. I mean, persons may think that you don't want to give it to young persons because you don't want them to use it, but the reality is that they're going to do it. So I think that we should make it available to them. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. What are your thoughts on that? Jada, you can take this one.
Well, from a legal standpoint, minors are not allowed to access certain sexual health services without the permission of their parent, or at least a guardian present. On the school front, I do agree that it should be disseminated through schools. We should make the information age appropriate and teach children at all levels different things. So we can start with consent, and then as they get older, we introduce them more in sexual health.
And of reproduction, that's young men. About one point in time in the month, and that's it. They're not certain about when they ovulate, anything like that. So can you talk a little bit, chat rather a little bit about that, having that information available for young ladies or ladies in general?
So right now, we are in the process of rolling out a comprehensive sexuality education toolkit for persons who are out of school, the out of school youth. Because of course, within the HFLE, within the school system, you have the HFLE that still obtains within. And then for the persons who are out of school, we want to make sure that we are able to disseminate the information. Our view is that you need to prepare, just like the army would put out a call for soldiers, and we don't have a war pending. But you prepare, they train, they learn how to use the ammunition, so that when we do have an uprising or anything that requires the armed forces, that they are prepared. So it's the same thing education does. It prepares the young person should they end up in a situation where they need to call on or to recall on the information, they have the correct information. Because of course we have Dr. Google, we have all the peers who may not be giving you the relevant information. Even in terms of birth control and all these things, you would get information. However, the main thing is whether or not it will work with you based on your medical circumstances. So these are the things that we'll be able to say to you that can help you save your life. Now, because your friend is using something and it works for your friend means that it can work for you. So getting that information out there, having young persons know that they can come to an organization where these services are integrated, where it's youth-friendly, user-friendly, youth-centered. So that is why we are here, and that's why Jada is here, because we have a focus on the youth for 2023.
Yeah, on the topic of sharing information and experiences, part of my initiative for this year is involving youth in the conversation. So what I do is I would hold different discussions with different youth, and we just talk about how you feel, what impacts you, how you're being affected by certain things. Our most recent discussion that we just had, it was how negative sexual experiences impacts your general health. And we had so many people share so many personal stories, and a lot of people just felt relief knowing that so many others had experienced the exact same things that they had. So I've been doing some groundwork here in Tobago, connecting with the youth clubs, marginalized communities. Should you be interested in participating in one of our discussions, you can feel free to contact me. My email is jthomas@ttfpa.org.
Okay, and Jada, I think that's very commendable in terms of negative sexual experiences affecting your general health. That's something that I would have never thought about. I mean, it's obvious, but it's not something that I would have thought about to say, well, have a conversation around it. And speaking of conversations, I mean, we have it in schools, but at home, parents, it's something that parents don't usually talk about with their children. You know, mothers or fathers, auntie, uncle, granny, whoever, having that conversation with their child, letting them know, well, this is what is happening. This is what your period is. This is what sex is. This is what you're supposed to do when you're having sex. This is what you're not supposed to do. This is what consent is. I think that kind of information coming from somebody who you trust is very, very integral. So, is there anything that you could probably do to probably parent? You say they have the conferences. Is there? Do you have any plans or anything in place for parents or guardians for them to be able to have the information so that they could give it to their children?
Well, it's actually really interesting that you asked that because we actually do have a program for that. It's called CHAMP. It's our collaborative HIV. Roxanne?
We have collaborative HIV/AIDS management program, and that program is something that we roll out with parent and child or guardian. It is the opportunity for the same thing that you were asking about, for parents to be comfortable discussing things about sexual and reproductive health, being able to have the conversation apart from their kids as well as with them. So you teach them how to communicate, how to see signs, both sides, how to resolve issues, so that you build that rapport between the parent and the child, so that they both feel comfortable to engage, and that the information that they receive, they'll feel safe receiving the information, and the parents will feel equipped. Because most of the problems that parents have is that they too, when they were younger, were never equipped with the information. So they don't have any information to share. And it has always been taboo for their parents, so they were never told. What they learned was what they would have seen or read or heard. And so they don't know how to approach it, and they would approach it most times in the ways that their parents would have approached it with them. But we have the opportunity at family planning to reach out, and we have been doing that. And that's why I said, family planning has been known for just contraceptive products and being the advocate for the planned family, but we are so much more than that now, providing holistic care to men, women, and young people in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, and I understand that there's something specific you all are here in Tobago for. Can you all tell us a little bit about that program?
Well, we have an outreach program, as we would have mentioned before, and we try to bridge that gap, that access gap, because of course we know, even though there may be health centers or there may be hospitals, some people don't have access to it, either because of a physical disability or because of economics. Yeah? And what we do is we bring healthcare services to persons. So we are here in Tobago, and we are offering cervical cancer screens in the area of, we're going in the Glen Road area by the Glen Road Community Center, and we are there for 2 days. We have been there yesterday, and we are here again today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we are having a fun time interacting with persons of Trinidad and Tobago, because we are seeing locals here, we are seeing persons from Tobago who we haven't seen for a long time, and we are able now to reconnect. COVID had done one on us in that we had not been able to open our clinics and service the persons of Tobago, but we have that opportunity to do that, and we started yesterday, and we are going to continue today doing the pap smear, the STI testing, all at a small fee, $200 for a female health package that includes a breast exam, urine test, weight, vital signs. So it's a good deal. And
and we also have our contraceptive available. We have the IUDs, the copper T, we have oral contraceptives, as well as the Depo-Provera injection.
So we've got you covered.
Yeah, you all definitely have everything. Yeah. And in terms of plans for the future, Jada, I know earlier you were saying that you had some stuff that you were interested in doing in the future.
Yeah, all the youth initiatives that we are rolling out in Trinidad are, of course, going to be done in Tobago as well. So primarily the discussions, any health fairs that will be happening in the country, once we are invited, we will try our best to attend. Anything else, I would just reach out and let whichever groups I'm in contact with know future details.
Okay, and I definitely recommend that you reach out to the Tobago Youth Council because they are the umbrella body for all the youth organizations in Tobago. So they'll be able to gather everybody together so that you have that audience so that
Okay.
you'll be able to
Yes.
disseminate the information. Okay, well, thank you all so much for
Thank
chatting with
you.
us this morning. You know, we could once again just give the viewers your social media information, your emails, contacts, that kind of thing. Let them know where you'll be, what times you'll be there so that you'll be able to speak.
Okay, so on Friday, the 19th of May, today, we will be at the Glen Road Community Center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our social medias are FPATT on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And I can be contacted personally at jthomas@ttfpa.org.
And for person who wants to have programs in their communities, you can contact outreachservices.fpatt@gmail.com, and that's my email address, outreachservices.fpatt@gmail.com. And we also work with the corporate sector. We do education services, and we also, lean on them to adopt communities so that we can provide services free to these communities. So if you want to learn more on how you can contribute and how you can provide support to family planning, you can again email me outreachservices.fpatt@gmail.com.
Okay, viewers, that was Jada Thomas and Roxanne Layne from the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Stay tuned and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.